Hey, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Now we have just under an hour, and we've got to move quickly, so we're going to move thoroughly through things. And I'm not talking to you. I'm actually talking to myself, saying, "Hey, BKP, don't get stuck on something." Really quick. I don't like a branch of our government getting tied up in these political motivated stunts. The American people don't deserve stunts to affect an entire branch of their government. And that's what they forget. It's not yours up there around the Potomac, it's ours. And our founding fathers put checks and balances in. And the judicial, the legislative, Congress is a body of representatives and senators. Okay? They make law. The president's the executive branch. Now, in the president's executive powers, he can direct the FBI and the Department of Justice. They're a direct report to the executive powers of this country. All right? But there's an executive power, and then there's judicial. And in the judicial, a lot of people forget, this is a whole branch of government. There's U.S. district courts, there's U.S. Court of Appeals, and there's the Supreme Court of the United States. There's 11 districts of judicial districts in the United States to represent the American people or to hear cases on behalf of the American people all across this country. All right? When those get to the level of the Supreme Court, it was not the founding fathers' intent for it to be an 8 court, a 4-4-8 court. It was the founding fathers' intent for the president to execute his duty, the Senate to execute their duty, and no more, no less, to make the court a 9 court. Okay? The founding fathers never intended for a session to go all the way through in the Supreme Court on a 4-4 tie and be sent back to the appeal. So what you need to know before we go any further is if there's only 8 judges on the bench at the time of the session and it ends in a deadlock 4-4, whatever the appeals court ruling is stands until they can get it back before the Supreme Court. So if some of these abortion things, they can get a ninth circuit, a crazy Ninth Circuit, or somewhere whacked out judge on the appeals circuit to knock it down, and it goes to the Supreme Court and it's a 4-4, then the ruling of the appeals court stands until a similar case can get back to the Supreme Court. Anyhow, just really want to stress, hope that people take hold. Because first of all, I want to know who the hell this lady is. And who the hell said that this woman 36 years ago, what her accusation is, could freeze up a complete branch of government through this accusation that's being politicized by senators that are misusing their authority on what they're to do to confirm a justice and put them on the bench. All right, that being said, I want to move along here. Let's go to what I started with today. Now, I said this, and I said it with all due respect, and I said Charlie Brown and Lucy and moving the football, and could Republicans ever learn anything to campaign? Could they from Donald Trump? Well, it's different in districts. It's different on state level. It's different here. It's different there. But no. Rolling Stone magazine, trying to look for the date here. It should be right here. How the South's new progressives are taking on the GOP. Stacey Abrams, Andrew Gillum, and Beto O'Rourke are campaigning circles around Republicans' tired tactics. Will you listen to me now? I'm serious. Why, you shouldn't just get on there and be mean to Republicans. I'm not. I'm trying to let you know whether I agree with this article or not. I told you long ago, this is coming. 2020 is coming. What's that mean? If the governor that's in their mansion of that state gets an opportunity to leverage that redistricting. You set up on election night, right? You set up on election night and you watch Florida and you watch Georgia and you watch these states come in. And they are doing things now to try to turn the last bastion of hope, the middle of this country and the South. Now you see the middle of this country has not turned as fast as the South, sadly to say. North Carolina has fallen, okay, in this battle. South Carolina, close, very close to falling. All right. Alabama has a Democrat senator. Florida and Georgia, and they're going after Texas. Why, Texas is red, ma'am, and it'll stay red, ma'am, because my hat and belt buckle say it will. No. Why do you think they're fighting? Because it might not be now, but it will be soon. How the South's new progressives are taking on the GOP. Stacey Abrams, which is running for governor of the state of Georgia against Brian Kemp. And how did I start the show? By saying Brian Kemp's tactics, right? Just thinking. You can stay quiet. You can do the polling. You can stay, you can continue to be afraid to come out and just say, boom. Well, I would come out tomorrow and I'd say, there's a lot of areas in the state of Georgia that if Stacey Abrams becomes governor, they won't have a governor. I'd come out right now and say, I'll be governor for every Georgian inside these state line borders. Not one Georgian will ever feel in any day whatsoever that I'm not the governor for everybody in Georgia. Lord, I would burn that up. They don't call me. They don't call me. Because I will tell you what, they don't call me because I actually could have. Now, this is real arrogant, but I could have written Donald Trump's campaign is the reason why I knew he would be the next president of the United States. All right? Now, let me get into this article. If you are a progressive who hasn't been paying keen attention to the three marquee races in the South this fall, you're depriving yourself of a daily dose of GOP. I have to look that word up. In Georgia, Florida, and Texas, straight-talking liberals, not afraid. These liberals are not afraid. They're polling, and they're not afraid to say, I want to set up a lemonade stand and take the price off. Keep your nickel in your pocket. It's going to be free. I want to set up Medicaid for all. I want college for all. I don't care if your mama and daddy pole vaulted across the border. I don't care if they landed and got a 10 from the judges. I'm going to give them free college, health care, everything. Boots and shoes, man. Boots and shoes for everybody. It's coming down. Because I love everybody, no matter how you got here. Oh. In Georgia, Florida, and Texas, straight-talking liberals are topping the Democrat tickets for the first time in history. And Stacey Abrams, Andrew Gillum in Florida, and Beto O'Rourke are campaigning circles around the race-baiting greed heads who have dominated Southern politics with no meaningful resistance from freckless Democrats for 4 long and destructive decades. This is Rolling Stone magazine coming after. Long accustomed to running against the white centrist pasties, still clinging superstitiously to the old, hold on, still clinging superstitiously to the old Bill Clinton script of winning in Dixie. Lay off gun control, talk endless about middle class, about abortion, champion the death penalty, and pander relentlessly to both corporate interest and aging whites who long ago made a switch to the GOP. Sorry, folks. The aging white who long ago made a switch to the GOP. We'll start with Nathan Deal. Nathan Deal was a Democrat. Get mad if you want. Okay? So, the fat and happy Republicans have been caught completely off guard by this strange new breed of Democrats. This is a Rolling Stone article, and it's I knew this was coming. It's talking about Georgia, Stacey Abrams, Gillum, Texas, how they are bold in saying they want your money, they'll spend your money. How they are bold in saying, you know what, we will sandblast Stone Mountain. How they are bold in saying our agenda will be directed to the LGBTQ community. And, they will be bold. They are bold in this. And even as the South becomes increasingly diverse, thanks to massive black remigration from the North and swelling numbers of Latino and Asian transplants, the National Democrat insisted that their Southern cousins, if they wanted any support from the party, keep running campaigns based on increasingly outmodeled stereotypes of the racist, intractable, arrogant Jim Crow South, even as the party keeps losing more local, state, and federal races every 2 years. Abrams, Gillum, and O'Rourke are blasting that conventional stupidity to smithereens. Abrams, Gillum, and O'Rourke are blasting that conventional stupidity to smithereens. The Democrats were supposed to have no prayer of unseating widely loathed Senator Ted Cruz. The list goes on, but I'm telling you, this is a Rolling Stone magazine, and I said it early on. Ted Cruz will win in Texas. And they want you to believe there's a chance, but he will win in Texas because he will fight. But we've got a couple like DeSantis and Brian Kemp. I'm just concerned if they are, okay? I'm concerned if they are, especially Brian Kemp, trying to stay middle of the road and not bring the fight to her, whether you like it or not. Now, let me go over some things I want to, let's go to number 3. Okay? And let me get this up. And this is the attempt, because now the Senate is in play. But here you go. This is what they have. Reuters, University of Virginia, Center of Politics. Mayor Andrew Gillum, that's from Tallahassee, the Democrat, polling right now 50%. Ron DeSantis, Republican, 44%. Ron DeSantis, to me, has blown it when he was in fear of telling the truth about the forged deaths that occurred from Hurricane Maria and the other hurricane in Puerto Rico. He did not have to argue that 2,950 or whatever died in Puerto Rico, but we all know what has happened there, and we know the truth of the George Washington study, okay, that Puerto Rico paid for that did not have the money. Maybe if DeSantis would go around because he's afraid of, in Florida, he's afraid of the Puerto Rican vote, okay? And he's afraid of the Puerto Rican vote, and he's afraid of losing that vote, that he is pandering as a sympathy wuss crybaby Republican around the state saying, please don't get mad at me over the President of the United States. If DeSantis would go right into those Latino communities and he would hit hard and he would have rallies and say, you know what? My fellow Floridians, Puerto Rican friends, I'm going to stand in front of you and tell you the truth. You know it. You were on the island. You know the government. You know the government of Puerto Rico. Don't let those people back there with the TV cameras on that keep telling you what happened in Puerto Rico. You know the truth. And every time they try to tell you that the government did not come and FEMA did not come, you look back at them and say, whose responsibility was it to distribute the 20,000 pallets of food? I mean, water. Millions of bottles of water. Look at them and ask them that. Look at them and ask them about the food that rotted and went bad because the government would not do anything to help distribute the food. Look at them and ask them how the mayor of Puerto Rico was finding electricity for her print shop for her hats and t-shirts while you were suffering. Look at them and ask them why the local government allowed their people to suffer like they did and quit believing the lie of those people back there, because that's what you left Puerto Rico to get out of that oppression that you've lived under. No, please, Puerto Ricans, do not get upset with me. Please do not. I know, please forgive me that I was so in line with Donald Trump. And I did not realize sooner or later I would have to just say, just ignore him. Ron DeSantis, I don't know if the poll is true, but seems to be down to a socialist. How did you get this way? Let's go to number 4. This is another poll because they think the Senate's in play. Rick Scott, a very popular governor in Florida that has distanced himself from the President of the United States with some of his comments based on his Puerto Rican fears. He fears the Puerto Rican. Okay? Oh, yeah. These people get it. They're such wusses. They fear these people. They don't stand up and tell the truth. Stand up and tell the truth. Take a chance. Donald Trump did. Take a chance on going after the truth. See how the people respond to that. Governor Rick Scott, 46. Senator Bill Nelson, he is the sitting senator now, 45. Okay. Nevada. All right. Dean Heller there is 46. Let's go to number 5. I'm sorry, Josh. Number 5, Dean Heller is at 46, Republican. And Representative Jackie Rosen is at 43. She's a Democrat there in Nevada. And Trump is going out and going to roll the dice in Vegas and then do a rally in Nevada. I can't wait to see that for Dean Heller. Just seems like it was just yesterday. He was sitting next to Dean Heller looking at him, giving him hell. But Dean Heller, he's going to go out and see what he can't do to pull Dean Heller's ass across the finish line. And then we've got Arizona, number 6. Let's go with number 6, Arizona. And we have this polling data. If you notice, this comes from MSNBC at 5:30 in the morning, 5:27 or 6:27 this morning. The continued help to try to unseat Republicans across this country. And we have Representative Kirsten Sinema. Okay. All right. Representative Kirsten Sinema, Democrat. She's at 47%. And Representative Martha McSally, the Republicans, at 4-4 in Arizona. And then we have, now yesterday we had a poll that gave Cruz 9 points. So be careful here, folks, because this one, Reuters poll, let's go to this one here, number 7, has O'Rourke, all right? Has O'Rourke, and has a plus and minus of 4. Has O'Rourke in Texas up 47, okay? And Ted Cruz down 45, the Democrat. So be careful with these polls, okay? Go to number 8, and this is at 6:30 this morning. Joe and Little Willie, polls neck and neck races for the Senate. They're trying to, what they're trying to do is they're trying to say, Republicans, you've lost the House. According to them, they've lost the House. All right? Just give up on that. Senate's in play now. So they're trying to suppress the vote, okay, manipulate elections. Now, let me look in the camera and tell you something. Please, 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 get your facts straight. Do not call your Democrat friend. If anybody claims to be a Democrat, they've lost their damn mind and you're not bringing them back, okay? Period. All right? Call your Republican friends and your friends that identify as independents, okay? And talk to them logically. Don't yell at them and tell them they have to get out and vote. Republicans and independents. Because let me tell you, quit letting the Democrats tell a lie. You're screaming back at me right now. Are you saying Republicans don't tell a lie? No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that, okay? I'm just saying we retain the House as Republicans, we retain the Senate, and we retain the Oval Office. We have more of a chance to try to get something done than to go with the Democrat in the race. My point is, 10 candidates have signed a letter or more, private letter, stating that they will not support Nancy Pelosi for Speaker of the House. That's intentional. It was supposed to be a private letter that surfaced with 10 signatures of candidates, Democrat candidates, that say publicly they will not support Nancy Pelosi or on the letter for Speaker of the House. That's all set up. That's all to give the independents some comfort. Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House scares the hell out of Americans. Flat scares the hell out of them, okay? So they want to build this, they want to build the narrative that if you, Mr. Republican, go out and use the same old scare tactic that Nancy Pelosi will be Speaker of the House, why, they're not going to vote for her. You have lost your mind. If you think Nancy Pelosi and the DCCC, which is the Armed Congressional Campaign Committee, the Democrat Congressional Campaign Committee, when you see DCCC, that's Nancy's baby. Nancy brings the cash in, okay? So it's like a car wash. When you come out on the other side and you get blown dry and you're ready to go out into the world, when they come in and get elected, they'll go through the car wash and get the hell beat out of them, and they will get their act together. And by the time they come out the other end, they will know very well to never speak ill of the great Pelosi once again, okay? Because when you got people like Steny Hoyer and you got these people that walk around kissing this woman's ass, you know one thing, she knows how to beat the hell out of them and tell them you better walk the line. So if you think that the Democrats take back the House and Nancy Pelosi doesn't get the gavel, you got another thing coming, period. So that is what they're trying to sell. All right. Number 9, I'm going to roll through. Wait a minute. Let's not go to number 9 yet. I'm sorry about that. I don't want to do Kavanaugh yet. I'm sorry about that, Josh. This morning, 6 a.m. I just want to show you how MSNBC, 6 a.m. Now put up number 16. All right. Number 16 here 6 a.m., MSNBC, Morning Joe, okay? This is Lake Norman, and this happens to be a Trump golf course. This happens to be Trump's signature golf course right there on Lake Norman, okay? 6 a.m. This is how they feel they should start today. Let's go with 17. Here is Trump down there visiting North Carolina yesterday over on the coast. There's Trump visiting with an entire group of first responders and mayors at number 17. Number 18, right there, let's go to number 18. There's Brock Long that's with him, and Kirstjen Nielsen, I think that's her name. Homeland Security, Brock Long, and but there's Trump in the center. Arms crossed, always arms crossed, okay? He's in Havelock, North Carolina. He actually said this, but the world ends for liberals, okay? How bad did Lake Norman get hit? Well, you know, the lake's up a little bit, blah, blah, blah. Not really bad. Okay. For some reason, I like that area. Well, he has a golf course there. Lake Norman's about 30 miles north of Charlotte up 77. Straight up 77, you got Lake. He has a big resort there. Oh, they're going nuts because he asked, hey, how bad did Lake Norman get hit? You know, why I'm down here and I got the professionals. You're the professionals. Hey, how's Lake Norman? Something about that place I like. Yeah, I got a golf course. I invested millions of dollars in that community. All right? But other businesses in the area, they're allowed to ask the question, or they're allowed to talk about the devastation, okay? Let me do this. I gotta get to a couple things I want to do, all right? So I don't leave. Now, Puerto Rico, I want to do this because I talked about, so let's go to number 29, all right? So MSNBC at 5:10 a.m. Eastern. This was actually at 5:10 a.m. 1 year since Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico. All right, so you got the guy sitting on his one little spot there. His place is tore all to pieces. The ocean's in the background. Okay, that's number 29. 1 year, okay? Let's go to 30. 1 year since Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico. All right? Okay. Let's go to 31. This is at 5:10 a.m. this morning. 1 year since Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico. All right? And then let's go to... sorry about that, Josh. I'm still... Computer's got to catch up with me. Let's go to number 42. Now, I'm just going with the media here, okay? Number 42. Puerto Rico governor asked Trump to consider statehood. In a letter to the president obtained by The Hill and timed to coincide with the 1 year anniversary of Hurricane Maria hitting Puerto Rico on Thursday, Roselio said the island's territory status negatively affected recovery, efforts post-Maria. I want to do that for a reason, okay? Everybody's Kavanaughing it. It's the big Kavanaugh day, okay? It's Kavanaugh week at the White House. They set this up, okay? They set this up. Every day they set something up. So the media set up the lie. So it's just like this. And here's what I want to get clear to you, because I would like for you to just do your own investigations and think these things out. All right? So in August, so we know for this period of time, I want to parallel this. We know for this period of time, okay, that we know for a period of time that this lady, that Brett Kavanaugh is the nominee for the Supreme Court. So we know the steps. He's going to go visit the senators. They're going to compile documents. The FBI is going to do a background, thorough investigation, the sixth one. They're going to go to the hearings, and then they're going to time release the capsule of this lady accusing Brett Kavanaugh. So they know all this. The media helps lay it out, so they get it ready in August. Okay? Stay with me. They get it ready in August, well before the confirmation hearings, where it could have been public to the American people. Okay? Now, when Kamala Harris was asking Kavanaugh, and she was saying, "Are you sure in the law office of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe? Are you sure in that law office that somebody in there was not on retainer by Donald Trump and the Russian investigation never came up? Are you sure?" Well, why didn't Spartacus and why didn't they take that moment to say to Brett Kavanaugh, "Are you sure 36 years ago you didn't intend to party"? Just think about your answer, sir. Think about your answer. Before you answer, think about it. I don't know, man. We did sneak out that night. That being said, so it was all laid out. So what did they do? What did they do in August? They got the lady ready, okay? Polygraph, got her over to her representative. Her representative's sympathetic heart knew she was traumatized by this event for the past 36 years of her life. And, so she made sure Feinstein, it's all ready. Guess what? The left knew that this day would come. And they got it ready with George Washington University study for the Democrat-controlled Puerto Rico for 40-some years. Governor, all their people, their votes, Democrat. Obviously, I think Hillary won Puerto Rico. Barack Obama won Puerto Rico. Look at the last time Puerto Rico came in and the votes were not for a Democrat. That being said, is when I told you this the other day on the show, when they did the study, it was just in time to slide in the application. Remember that? Just in time. This study's just in time to put with their request for more money, their request to be recognized, their request of what they need. And the media laid this out. They've been getting it ready for a long time. So about the time we need it, we'll strike that 3,000 people are dead because they're not a state. You see, they're a territory with a local government body. And when FEMA came in, the federal government in our territory handled things as we were supposed to. Now, they were supposed to handle distribution. And they're still supposed to do that with a state, but they're a territory. So the Puerto Rican governor asked, if you think this wasn't all set up, if you think this George Washington University study wasn't set up, if you think all of this wasn't set up, Ron DeSantis, Rick Scott, if you should not have a set of you-know-what to go around the state and campaign and act like a man. It's about time people start acting like a man again. I had a Godfather slap you. First you can do is act like a man. What the hell? One of my favorite scenes in that movie. So moving right along. No, you guys don't have the nerve to go campaign. Well, we know this. Why can we find this? Puerto Rico governor asked Trump to consider statehood. In a letter to the president obtained by The Hill and timed to coincide with the one-year anniversary of Hurricane Maria hitting Puerto Rico on Thursday, Roselio said the island's territorial status, their status, negatively affected recovery efforts post-Maria. 1 year ago today, why, if they were only a state, they could have 2 state senators. Well, if they were only a state, they could have a representative. So they could have one more blue representative vote. If they're only a state, they could have 2 more senators that would vote Democrat. Well, if they were only a state. Okay, just in time, they keep this narrative moving. Let's go. It's CNN at 4 a.m. this morning, 4:04. Now look at the clock. Go to number 41. 4:04. Now, there's no talk during this time of these networks, no talk of the judges' chambers being shot up, no talk of law enforcement being shot and killed, no talk of the hurricane victims. This is what takes precedence, is illegals, not you and I. 4 o'clock in the morning, developing this morning, U.S. Customs and Border Protection developing this morning. Administration, again, can't find immigrant children. They're not immigrant children, damn it. They're here illegally. Second try to locate children released from custody, couldn't find 1,488. Let's go to picture number 40. Administration, again, can't find. This is at 4:04 a.m. Now, it seems to me CNN has them in cages. Huh. Well, you remember the guy that was here that's a Democrat? Why, we know you put the children in cages. Interesting. Wonder how they managed to put all that together. So they released those pictures at 4 o'clock of the children in cages. Folks, let's go to, and I want to go to this real quick, number 37. This is from Byron York. It's a tweet, and I want you to see this here. We're talking about separation of power. This is how much fear they have of the tables turning on their Russian witch hunt. This is Byron York. Showdown in letter. Pelosi, Schumer, Schiff, and Warner order intel agencies to ignore presidential order on declassification until consulting with Congress. The president, this is a constitutional crisis. The president has the authority to declassify, and they do not want these text messages. They do not want the FISA warrant. They do not want these without being redacted. Trump said put them out. Trump has the power, the executive branch has the power to declassify these and give them to you and I, the citizens, on who they belong to. But this is definitely, all right, definitely. Let's go to number, and you should look at more on this. I'll say it nicely. Let's go to number 39. Okay. And number 39, and in light of the assurances you provided, we request an immediate briefing to the Gang of Eight from you prior to any disclosure. They've sent this to the FBI, sent it to the Department of Justice, and all the national security agencies that work, okay, under the executive branch. Powers. They don't run the executive branch. They don't run the judicial branch. They're afraid. The deep state is definitely afraid. Gang of Eight from you prior to any disclosure of affected material by your agencies and to anyone at the White House. Among other issues of concern, we will need you to clarify in person. So don't do what the Constitution says you're obligated to do. Defy the Constitution. Defy the President of the United States. Be insubordinate. Push back. No matter what the Constitution says. The exact review process that will be undertaken, including the White House's role in and visibly into the process, and specifically the White House's officials expected to be involved, your agency's proposed redactions and plans to protect investigative sources and methods sources and methods, let me stumble through this, including efforts to mitigate harm that may result from the disclosure. Now, this is Nancy Pelosi. Thank you for immediate attention. We appreciate meeting with you soon. Chuck Schumer, Mark Warner, Adam Schiff, and Nancy Pelosi. All right. Trying to supersede the President of the United States in their efforts. Okay, so let's go to, let me go to one more. I have a couple stories here, but I've got to make sure. Okay, Number 9, just want to show you the bottleneck of what the American people are being inundated with from the deep state media. Kavanaugh's accuser issues new statement calling for investigation and more witnesses. More witnesses. What did I tell you? Okay? Did I not tell you throughout the week that they're going to be looking for somebody to corroborate her story that can back her up? Now, they will not say that it has to be somebody that was at the party. They will accept, watch and see how the Republicans may crack. They may accept somebody she talked to later in life. And then Democrats will say, well, she had no reason. She didn't know Brett Kavanaugh would be a Supreme Court justice 12 years ago when she was having tea with her friend and said, you know, I had a traumatic experience right at 36 years ago. Watch. But here it is. Kavanaugh accuser issues new statement calling for investigation and more witnesses. Who the hell said that this person and the Senate could run the United States of America? Now, this is what I'm careful with. Because when Senator Collins, because there's too many Republicans out there, too many people out there that want Brett Kavanaugh to be the next Supreme Court justice, that when they hear something like this out of Susan Collins, a senator from Maine, little Bobby Corker, Tennessee, and they hear Jeff Flake from Arizona say it's time to move forward, they feel better. They sigh of relief. I don't. I say, oh, my chest tightens up. I think, oh, hell, what the hell's coming? So here's Senator Collins on Kavanaugh accuser. Collins, I don't think she can reject having had all of these serious allegations. I don't think she can reject all those options because otherwise there are these very serious allegations hanging over the head of the nominee who has empathetically denied them, and that's just not a good way for us to end. So I think she needs to come forward, and I think we need to provide her with any protection that she may ask for herself and her family. What about the nominee? Let's go to number 11. Ford's lawyer, Monday Senate hearing is not fair or good faith investigation. She has till 10 a.m. tomorrow morning to decide. So let's go to Washington Post here, number 12. Let's go to number 12. Republicans push to confirm Kavanaugh amid fears it will come at a political cost. Okay, if they don't hear her out, then the 11 white guys mistreated the lady and was not fair and did not listen to the accuser. But if she does testify, 11 white guys are going to question her. The optics are bad. One senior Republican involved with the national campaign planning for the House. Bunch of wusses. One senior Republican involved with national campaign planning for the House. Where's the name? Said several top GOP lawmakers have told colleagues that they hope Ford declines to show up for the hearing, even as they issue statements urging her to do so, helping the GOP avoid a risky televised drama and making it easier for Senate leaders to hold a vote next week. Let's go to number 13. So you can make an accusation just out of the clear blue. Number 13, out of the clear blue sky. Grassley willing to send staff to California to speak with Kavanaugh accuser. Really? Why are we doing that? Okay. Here is a statement from Dr. Ford's attorney. Okay, let's go to number 14. Dr. Ford's attorney. She's running this. They're running this. Republicans never realized they're in charge. Never. She continues to believe that a full, nonpartisan investigation of this matter is needed, and she is willing to cooperate with the committee. However, the committee's stated plan to move forward with a hearing that has only 2 witnesses is not fair. Only 2 witnesses. Remember, corroborating. Who said that every day? Is not fair or good faith investigation. There are multiple witnesses whose names have appeared publicly and should be included in any proceeding. The rush to a hearing is unnecessary and contrary to the committee's discovering the truth. There are other witnesses out there. Yes. You got all those other witnesses, all right? And Fox is in on it. Let's go to 21. I know you get upset. I'm not telling you I don't watch Fox. I'm not telling you that I don't enjoy several people on there. But that was bright and early at 5 a.m. this morning. The Kavanaugh chaos. Kavanaugh chaos right there. Number 22, Spartacus. Go to 22. That's Mr. Booker. Spartacus it's his place to challenge Donald Trump. So we do foresee Spartacus coming out and not politicizing this, but he's going to run for president. Going to run for president. And I just want to say, let's see, make sure I've not missed anything here. Okay, let's go to number 34, and this is the one I might end on, number 34. Well, I got a couple more. It is 9:55. Number 34, Senator Collins on Kavanaugh accuser. MSNBC at 5:01 this morning. I don't think she can reject having had made all these serious allegations. I don't think she can reject all those options because otherwise there are very serious allegations hanging out there. And, you know, she needs to come testify. I just read that, but she needs to come testify. We'll protect her family. I didn't realize I already had that one out there. Let's go to number 35, Lindsey Graham. I want to know what they did with Lindsey Graham-nesty. This is a different guy. This guy got beamed up, Area 54. He has been abducted by aliens and set back down, and he is a true Donald Trump supporter as he watched his friend John McCain. See, John McCain called Lindsey and said, Lindsey, I'm about through. And Lindsey said, well, you know, it's only noon. You have till 3. Anyhow, just joking there. Requiring an FBI investigation, Lindsey Graham, requiring an FBI investigation of a 36-year-old allegation without specific references to time or location before Professor Ford will appear before a Judiciary Committee is not about finding the truth, but delaying the process till after the midterm election. It is imperative the Judiciary Committee move forward on the Kavanaugh nomination and committee vote be taken ASAP. Don't know who that guy is. He used to be Lindsey Graham. Now, I got to go. It's time for instant replay, but let's fire through. Let's fire through these. Number 23, Josh, number 23, The Washington Post. Trump feels angry, unprotected amid mounting crisis. It is a complete disgrace the way that Trump is acting like a schoolyard bully against Sessions, a former White House official said, speaking on the condition of amnesty to share a critical opinion. Let's go to 24. Ex-White House official, number 24, ex-White House official, Trump is acting like a schoolyard bully against Sessions. Let's go to number 25. Number 25 is MSNBC at 5:16 this morning. Trump, I don't have an attorney general. Okay. Number 26, Kirsten Welker. Are you going to fire him? Are you going to fire Jeff Sessions? President Trump, I'm disappointed in the attorney general for many reasons. Let me say this. Let me close. The media and what they attempt to do is a major disgrace in this country. We will be at Sycamore Crossing tomorrow morning. Let me move on here because I can go on and my time is up. We'll be at Sycamore Crossing. It's Friday morning, and we will have Ask the Doc at 8:10 in the morning. Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley. We'll have at 8:30 the All-Star Political Panel. Around 8:35, we will have around 9:30 North Georgia Senior Living with Jesse Barton from Cameron Hall. And then at 9:45, our Pet of the Week from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. Up now, next is Dave Garner, Instant Replay, North Georgia's only online sports show. Dave Garner, Instant Replay. I'll be back tomorrow morning.